Is the relation a function? If so, state the domain and the range. Well, for example A, we have a set of points here. We have 4 points, and we can see that for the first x, -3, it's paired up with the value 5. For a function, it's true that for every x, there is only one y. That's very important. That means if you have x equals -3, and that leads to 5 for y, that means for every point that has -3, the y-coordinate must always be 5. It is not possible to have -3 lead to 2. If that happens, it means that the relation is not a function. All right, so we can say because this pair of points shows that -3 is paired up with 2 different y values. In other words, we can say -3 is mapped to both 5 and to 2. Because of this, we can say it's not a function. All right, let's look at B then. For B, we have a -2 paired up with 0, 1 paired up with 8, 2 paired up with 0, and 5 paired up with 3. So when you look at this, it looks like it is a function actually. Now you may be concerned with this pair of points here, but if you actually look carefully, it looks like -2 is mapped to 0, and 2 is mapped to 0. But that's actually okay. It's all right if 2 x values lead to the same y value. What's not okay is if the same x value leads to 2 different y values, right? So as long as every x only goes out to just one y value, the relation is a function. All right, so since we believe it's a function, the next step is to state the domain and the range. So the domain here is simply going to be all of the values in the x position, or what we traditionally call the x position. Of course, you know that x and y, that terminology is arbitrary. We could just as well call it t and z. So it actually doesn't matter what you label them. So in other words, the first coordinate of each point is going to represent the domain, right? So in this case, the domain is simply the set -2, 1, 2, 5. And the range is actually all of the values that the domain is mapped to. So in other words, we'll have 0 for the range, 8 for the range, and 3 for the range. So the reason why we only have 3 values in the range is because 0, of course, is repeated.